So in this episode of the Mighty Mirage, we are going to relocate the front and rear axles out of this FTO that we picked up on the weekend and relocate them into the Mirage. The reason we're doing that gives us 4-wheel disc brakes and converts the car to a 5-stud pattern. So join us as we do that on this episode of the Mighty Mirage.
It's a thing.
The Mitsubishi FTO was brought into Australia as a grey import between 1994 and 2000. Interestingly, Japan's car of the year for 94-95.
Water dispersant, recipe 40. As Stu said before, we're pretty much pulling the whole rear end out of this, and the whole front end, and throwing it into the Mirage. So first up we need to, I've been through and put penetrant in there, inox or WD-40, whatever it is, on all the bolts, because this has been sitting for like 8 years doing nothing but gathering rust. So it's going to give us the sway bar, brake disc, which is the main reason why we've got it, and it's also going to give us a little bit extra camber as well, and it's also going to move us to a 5-stud pattern, gives us a bit more choice on wheels, slightly bigger wheels, which are going to be a bit more useful for us for traction, extra width and things like that. I'm going to start hopefully cracking some of these bolts and not breaking some of these bolts. But that's a 14, so that's not going to help. 14s. Oh. It is now. There's a sway bar. So that'll be a handy addition. So the Mirage doesn't have a sway bar or anti-roll bar, whatever you want to call it, but it will do very soon. One bizarre thing is that they from the factory put pilot holes in, like there's provision for it, but never did it. So kind of handy. Saves us having to drill and tap. Yeah. Don't need it.
Well, they've done all 4 of them.
Yeah, of course I have.
Ah. There you go.
What's 17 mil?
Yeah. Or 17 to 14, 17 to 14.
Yeah, all that stuff. 21. 17 bra?
Yep. 17, bro. You DP or are you good?
Excuse me?
You DP or are you good?
Oh, please a PP. That's not the thing to say with wife and children around. Keep them all together as well. Tap it all the way through now.
That's not gonna work, is it? Oh, she does not want to move.
Hello, how you doing? Stu! Pizza! Give us 2 secs. Kind of sees this one.
Yeah, mate, that's moving a lot at the back.
Yeah.
Right.
Forming around.
You're not feeling your death in front of the truck.
What?
You're not feeling your crushing death in front of the truck.
Yeah, that'll be right. Just remember me by. Bending them out for the front of it, because it's seized in the
Maybe spray some in.
we couldn't find the inox, so
Spray that in there, and then inox.
yeah. You can always bash the other side of the mount as well with a hammer.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, it's because it's the bolt, the eccentric bolt is seized on it.
I know where it is. That's where it was.
Yeah, I'm going to wait till my wife leaves, then I'm going to eat.
That's reversing like on your car roadworthy.
The LEDs, what's wrong with that?
Just bring it down a bit or?
Nah. It's better light, isn't it? When it's up in the air? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, get in there.
That's what she said.
This is not working.
That's also what she said. Fuck man, you idiot. Help.
So we bought these cars from the middle of bloody nowhere, and as a result of sitting out in the middle of a paddock through tempest, fire and storm, they are rusty as. So we battled with just about every part of the rear of this car to get it undone.
So just disconnected all the brake lines. So once we've done the last couple of pivot points and mount points for the rear suspension, should be able to just drop the whole rear arms out. We don't need a handbrake, so we're just going to hack it off for the moment. We don't need a handbrake in the race car. It's just an extra kilo or two that we don't need. And this is beyond salvageable anyway, so it's just going to go for scrap. So we don't need to waste time disassembling things in a nice, pretty way. Ideally, I'd love to just get a grinder on there, but do we have a grinder handy? Yeah? No? Not really. Probably around here. Going to bring it down some more.
So while Big Al's been having fun at the fun park, Stu and I have been over here undoing the same bolts on the Mirage as well, so we can quickly whip these out. So just 1, 2, 3, 4. Planning ahead, we were able to put some WD-40 or inox onto it. Shut up! Put some inox onto it so that we're able to get them undone easily. The FTOs seem to have been, it's hard to get good help. The FTOs seem to have been sat out in the weather and have copped a lot of rust. Fortunately, even though the Mirage was down in Phillip Island, it's fared a lot better than the FTO has, so easier to get these nuts undone and out of the car.
Oh, we need to unbolt the front of this.
Yep.
Which is going to be 2 hand-filled 17.
Yep.
And then
We are reusing these bolts, so I'm a little bit concerned. Just dumped them all over the ground.
Those ones?
No, all the heads are the
Well,
same.
we need to put this back together to get it rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the heads are the same. They're all 17s except for the 2 14s up here and 2 14s on the sway bar.
Right.
Everything else is a 17.
I haven't.
So the last time Al used the grinder, he smashed a window. So we're a little bit concerned.
That is hot! Really hot! Bit of a bubble on that one.
It's So as usual, when the going gets tough, the boys get me to do the job. So this lower control arm concentric bolt was jammed tight in there.
Old-fashioned tools. No
So
noise.
I spent the next part of half an hour and 45 minutes working out how the heck we were going to get it out of the car. We tried everything. We tried bombs, we tried guns, we tried invading a small country, and none of it would work. So the strategy to get the lower arm out of the car had slightly changed. We were going to pull the outer trailing arm off to give me full range of motion on the lower control arm.
Next you. Can you get this out? Thank you.
That's going to end in skin knuckles too.
Yeah, I know.
Don't pull on it, don't push on it. Honestly, if you weren't friends with us, you'd be home right now, relaxing on the couch, probably with a beer, enjoying quality time with your young lady.
Ah, she's at work. That's the only reason I'm allowed to come down, because she's at work.
That one. Hang on. Got it. All right.
Before you find out what I done to disconnect. Oh no, it all came undone.
Now, can you imagine? Can you imagine doing that at the wrecker, like on the ground? That one is the one that we let people who don't put shit away use.
That's what I'll be using.
Well, clearly,
At least I know which one to use.
if the shoe fits, you should buy it.
Although that being said, what's the? Do we know what the score is with the rear brake line?
So as we mentioned earlier, just about everything in the suspension and brakes on this car are interchangeable.
Oh, that's easy. That's shit.
So we won't even need to remanufacture brake lines. It's just a simple case of disconnect and reconnect, making our lives very simple.
A satisfying crack. Second most satisfying.
So for those of you with experience working on cars, you'll know that sometimes it's all about the way that you point your tongue as to whether or not you'll successfully undo a bolt. Unfortunately, the FTO didn't want to play the game of pointy-tonguey, so we had to take ulterior measures. Actually turning the bush in the arm.
Got a grinder? We've got a grinder here. I know how to use a grinder.
Yes, you
Yes,
can.
I can.
Yes, I can.
What?
So yes, that bolt proved to be one tough mother, but unfortunately, car versus grinder, grinder normally wins. Wow, grinder.
Let's just get this one in, because that way we can bash that bracket back.
How am I going to roll this one with no lower controller?
Well, how are you going to roll that one with no lower controller?
On a jack, and I'll dump it in the car park. You've got to move this one in and out every day.
Yeah. Is it just the bush and that's...
Yeah.
May I?
Ooh, come over, Master Mechanic. Sort your stuff out.
So coming up in the next episode of the Mighty Mirage, we continue to borrow some backside.
Who's been going to the gym, boys? Oh, sorry.
It's alright, just got studs in my chest. Ooh. Oh yes, I was putting them in there. I'll use them later section.
Right, well they're now up here in the you won't find them later section.